Interchanges, one of the weirdest and most interesting things that have come from the freeway building and expansion in the country. These intersections between major divided highways can tower above the ground in cities. As traffic has gotten worse, the extremes of America's largest interchanges have also stretched to new levels. So today we're going to look at some of the country's largest, craziest, and worst interchanges. Before the video starts though, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Any support is appreciated, but if you enjoy the content and want to see more, please click that subscribe button, because it helps me out a ton and it's very easy for you. Thank you. So before I start listing out interchanges around the country, I will say that these aren't necessarily the worst ones out there. And I'm not even technically saying that all of them are bad. Some people would say large towering freeways like this are objectively bad, and some would say they're needed. I'm not here to prove either side, but instead just show off some of the craziest instances we have in the US. So with that, let's get into our first interchange between I-88, I-290, and I-294 in Chicago, Illinois, also known as the Hillside Strangler. So this three-way interchange is located 14 miles west of the downtown in the suburb of Hillside. It forms a triangle using a more spread out layout, making 3 different interchanges instead of one larger one. There's room between for some industrial buildings and somehow a small neighborhood. Anyways, it's known as one of the most hated stretch of the Chicago expressway system, having bad traffic struggles due to poor designs and choke points. The main problem with the interchange, which gave it the name the Hillside Strangler, is a problem that was fixed in the early 2000s. Where 7 lanes of traffic were forced to merge to 3 in a short period of time. But because the problem was realized, it was somewhat fixed with things like new ramps and timed gates to ease traffic a little bit. It's still not in great condition though, and the people of this city hate it. Next we move to Knoxville, Tennessee, a smaller metro that does not struggle with as much traffic problems as Chicago does, which makes these bad interchanges a lot more questionable. So here we have the intersection between I-275 and I-40, also known as the city's Malfunction Junction. This meeting between 2 major routes in the city forms one of the largest interchanges in Knoxville, and it has a bad reputation from the locals. So originally, the design was a basic cloverleaf, which is what ended up giving it its name, because it was just not fit for the traffic in the area it was placed in. It's not often you see cloverleafs in downtowns anymore, or even suburban areas. Anyways, the design was scrapped and redesigned in advance of the 1982 World's Fair, where it was changed to what is now the current design. So present day, it may work better than it did before, but it's still a crazy design, taking up a lot more space and still resulting in increased traffic. It has a sort of star shape, as it provides access to Broadway and Western Avenue, as well as both interstates obviously. But something that might be a lot more helpful than these interchanges is BetterHelp.
This video is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? While BetterHelp may be the answer, starting therapy can be hard. The idea of this type of face-to-face interaction can be uncomfortable for some, and the right therapist might not be available in your area. With BetterHelp, you can complete your therapy sessions with a licensed therapist on the phone, as a video chat, or even via messaging. Whatever is most comfortable for you. If you think you might benefit from therapy, consider BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/beavergeography. BetterHelp can match you to one of over 30,000 therapists in their network and give you access to a wide range of expertise. All you have to do to get started is fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs, and you'll get matched with your therapist within 48 hours in most cases. Scheduling is convenient, and if your first therapist doesn't feel like the right fit, you can easily switch with no additional cost. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/beavergeography today. Clicking that link helps support this channel, and it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp, so you can connect with a therapist and see if it helps. Thank you to BetterHelp, and let's get back to the video.
Next up we have the interchange between several different routes, including I-5, State Route 57, and State Route 22, as well as several arterial routes with small connections. This interchange is known as the Orange Crush, and it has been deemed the most complex road interchange in the world by the 2002 Guinness Book of World Records. Located in Orange, California, in the southern part of the Los Angeles Metro near Angel Stadium, it's in a perfect spot to have a massive interchange. Obviously, Los Angeles is one of the most freeway-oriented cities out there, and it's in one of the highest traffic areas in the city. All this has come together to create a massive interchange with 34 different exit ramps, lanes, and routes, and 13 bridges. Significant construction took place in the early 2000s to make things safer, and parts of it were widened significantly. This helps things, but obviously didn't fix them fully. Driving through is challenging because of everything going on, so combined with the heavy traffic volume, it earned its name the Orange Crush. Next up, we move to Texas, another state that is heavily freeway oriented, and has created some crazy areas. One of the worst would be the interchange between I-30 and I-35 East, also known as the Mixmaster. Now, I will say, I think the Mixmaster is considered to be a lot of this inner loop, including the interchange to the north with State Route 366, but the main instance would be at this spot here, where the two interstates travel over each other, creating a 23-lane wide, massive connector. Now, normally in cities' downtowns, the urbanization around sort of stops the freeways from becoming so wide, and the planners are forced to find another way. But here, the meetings between I-30 and I-35 is right at the edge of the downtown, next to the Trinity River. So there's actually a lot of room to work with, which is why it's so large. This happened because of a major upgrade between 2013 and 2017 that widened it significantly to relieve traffic. This did help it become less congested, as it used to be one of the most congested spots of roadway in Texas. But it's still massive, chaotic, and crazy. Next, we move to one of the largest and craziest interchanges in the country, which is this one between I-95, I-395, and I-495, called the Springfield Interchange. So this is located in Springfield, Virginia, right on the Capitol Beltway, where it meets I-95. Now, as people know, this metro has some of the worst traffic in the country, which also results in some of the craziest interchanges. This one is absolutely massive, and has grown as traffic has increased. Originally, it was a simple interchange, where I-95 was expected to go straight and travel through DC. But after opposition changed that plan, things got a bit more dicey. In 1970, there were 150,000 vehicles traveling on it per day, and it had to be changed. So just as all the other interchanges I've talked about were reconstructed, so was the Springfield Interchange in the early 2000s, when it was expanded in one of the largest highway construction projects in U.S. history. Present day, it is massive and absolutely crazy. Being located in a forest, driving through feels like a fever dream, with nothing around you but trees and ramps. It feels like the biggest out of any of these, in my opinion. Next, I wanted to move to a smaller one, and instead just something I found interesting, which is an unnamed interchange between US 290, State Route 360, and Lamar Boulevard in Austin, Texas. So this is a towering interchange, where US 290 takes a turn to the west, and passes just south of where the interchange with Lamar Boulevard would be. The interesting part is that State Route 360 sort of has an interchange with 290 here, right on top of the already built Lamar Boulevard interchange, with both highways. Add this in with some frontage roads, and you've got a complicated, tall, and peculiar four-decker interchange. The way they do things with Lamar Boulevard's access to US 290 being the lowered interchange down the middle of the roads is interesting, and it's very telling of how infrastructure is built in Texas, and especially these newer developing cities. I think it's interesting to think about how these interchanges will develop and change in the future, as the country becomes more divided on what they want infrastructure to look like in the country. Will newer, larger interchanges be built, or will they start to shrink in favor of connections with less impact? We'll just have to wait and see. Thanks for watching. Thank you to the members this week: KMS162, JL, Sir JC17, Bryson, Jerome McCall, Dominic Psyche, Rosebud 4, Jeremy Jarvis, Christopher DeAngelis, Darkbird, Elijah Pass, Big Pasty, Jeremy Crone, Wolfling73, Snyder Schwein, Vorda Jake, Stormy Knight, Makita Martinoff, Benjamin Whitings, Ryan Devins, and Hazev the Wolf. I appreciate you all so much. You're really helping the channel, and I especially appreciate all the people who have been here for a really long time. If you want to become a member, the link is down in the description below. It's just an extra way to help me out and help the channel. All the money goes straight into my savings, so you're just helping me as a person if you appreciate the content. Obviously, I'm saving for college and stuff, so it is really appreciated. Just some extra stuff on the side. Thank you.